maybe some of the choices that some of our brothers and different things like that. But we have such a rich history. We have such a rich contribution to our society. And I was just kind of pondering, about the different things in life that maybe we don't know. Because it's amazing sometimes that we sometimes as black people are just as ignorant of our history.
Yes.
As the ones we get mad at.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amen? Man, but but blacks have contributed so much to our society, so much to our comfort, so much to our well-being, that I think sometimes we take it for granted. But I just want you to just take a moment just to think about some of the things you do when you go out, during your day or during your life. When you get hot and you go and you turn on the air conditioning unit, you can thank a black man for that. Amen. When you there's the auto cutoff switch, the auto fishing device, the automatic gear shift, the baby buggy, bicycle frame, biscuit cutter. Anybody know about the biscuit cutter? Amen. The blood plasma bag, the cellular phone. I know about that, cellular phone. Amen. The clothes dryer, the curtain rod support, the doorknob, and the door stop, the dustpan, the egg beater, the electric lamp bulb, the elevator eye protector, the fire escape ladder, fire extinguisher, folding bed, folding chair, the fountain pen, the furniture caster. We like to try to do things easy, so we like to put them little wheels on stuff and roll them in the furniture caster. Next time you roll some furniture. Amen. The gas mask, the golf tee, the guitar, the hairbrush, the hand stamp, the horseshoe, ice cream scoop, the insect destroyer gun, the ironing board, the keychain, lantern, lawnmower, lawn sprinkler, lemon squeezer, the lock, the lubricating cup, the lunch pail, the mailbox, the mop, the motor, peanut butter. How many like peanut butter? The pencil sharpener, the phone transmitter, the record player arm, the refrigerator, riding saddles, rolling pin, shampoo head rest, spark plug, stethoscope, stove, straightening comb, street sweeper, thermostat control, traffic light, tricycle, type. All of these inventions, they were either invented by a black person or they were patented and made better than the original. Amen. So that speaks a lot when we go and we do our daily things, and these are the things that we take for granted. And then I just want to read a poem. We're singing about freedom. I want to read a poem by the great Langston Hughes called Freedom's Plow. When a man starts out with nothing, when a man starts out with his hands empty but clean, when a man starts to build a world, he starts first with himself. And the faith that is in his heart, the strength there, the will there to build. First in the heart is the dream. Then the mind starts seeking a way. His eyes look out on the world, on the great wooded world, on the rich soil of the world, on the rivers of the world. The eyes see their materials for building, see the difficulties too and the obstacles. The mind seeks a way to overcome these obstacles. The hand seeks tools to cut the wood, to till the soil, and harness the power of the waters. Then the hand seeks other hands to help, a community of hands to help. Thus the dream becomes not one man's dream alone, but a community dream. Not my dream alone, but our dream. Not my world alone, but your world and my world, belonging to all the hands who build. A long time ago, but not too long ago, ships came from across the sea, bringing the pilgrims and prayer makers, adventurers and bounty seekers, free men and indentured servants, slave men and slave masters, all new to a new world, America. With billowing sails, the galleons came, bringing men and dreams, women and dreams, in little bands together, heart reaching out to heart, hand reaching out to hand. They began to build our land. Some were free hands seeking a greater freedom. Some were indentured hands hoping to find their freedom. Some were slave hands, guarding in their hearts the seed of freedom, but the word was always there. Freedom. Down into the earth with the plow, and the free hands and the slave hands, and indentured hand and adventurous hands, turning the rich soil with the plow in many hands, that planted and harvested the food that fed, and the cotton that clothed America. Clang against the trees went the axe into many hands, that hewed and shaped the rooftops of America. Splash into the rivers of the seas went the boat hoes that moved and transported America. Crack went the whips that drove the horses across the plains of America. Free hands and slave hands, indentured hands, adventurous hands, white hands, black hands, held the plow handles, axe handles, hammer handles, launched the boats and whipped the horses that fed and housed and moved America. Thus, through labor, all these hands made America. Labor, out of labor came villages and towns that grew cities. Labor, out of labor came the rowboats and the sailboats and the steamboats, came the wagons and the coaches, covered wagons, stagecoaches. Out of labor came the factories, came the foundries, came the railroads, came the markets, the shops and the stores, came the mighty products, molded, manufactured, sold in shops, piled in warehouses, shipped the world wide over. Out of labor, white hands and black hands, came the dream, the strength, the will, the way to build America. Now it is me here and you there. Now it's Manhattan, Chicago, Seattle, New Orleans, Boston, El Paso. Now it's the USA. A long time ago, but not too long ago, a man said, all men are created equal, endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. Among these, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. His name was Jefferson. There were slaves then, but in their hearts the slaves believed him too, and silently too for granted that what he said was also meant for them. It was a long time ago, but not so long ago, at that Lincoln said, no man is good enough to govern another man without that other's consent. There were slaves then too, but in their hearts the slaves knew. What he said must be meant for every human being, else it had no meaning for anyone. Then a man said, better to die free than to live slaves. He was a colored man who had been a slave, but he had run to freedom, and the slaves knew what Frederick Douglass said was true. With John Brown and Harper's Ferry, Negroes died. John Brown was hung. Before the Civil War, days were dark, and nobody knew for sure when freedom would triumph, or if it would, thought some. But others knew it had to triumph in those dark days of slavery, guarding in their hearts the seed of freedom. The slaves made up a song, keep your hand on the plow, hold on. That song meant just what it said. Hold on, freedom would come. Keep your hand on the plow, hold on. Out of it war came, bloody and terrible, but it came. Some were there as always, who doubted that the war would end right, that the slaves would be free, or that the Union would stand. But now we know how it all came out. Out of the darkest days for people and the nation, we know how it came out. There was light when the battle clouds rolled away. There was great wooded land, and men united as a nation. America is a dream. The poet says it was promises. The people say it is promises that will come true. The people do not always say things out loud nor write them down on paper. Nor the people often hold great thoughts in their deepest hearts, and sometimes only blunderingly express them, haltingly and stumblingly say them, and faultily put them into practice. The people do not always understand each other, but there is somewhere there always the trying to understand and trying to say, you are a man, together we are building our land. America, land created in common, dreams nourished in common. Keep your hands on the plow, hold on. If the house is not finished yet, don't be discouraged, builder. If the fight is not yet won, don't be weary, soldier. The plan and the pattern is here, woven from the beginning into the warp and wool of America. All men are created equal. No man is good enough to govern another man without his consent. Better die free than to live slaves. Who said those things? Americans. Who owns these words? America. Who is America? You, me. We are America. To the enemy who would conquer us from without, we say no. To the enemy who would divide and conquer us from within, we say no. Freedom, brotherhood, democracy. To all the enemies of these great words, we say no. A long time ago, an enslaved people heading toward freedom made up a song. Keep your hand on the plow. Hold on. The plow plowed a new furrow across the field of history. Into that furrow, the freedom seed was dropped. From that seed, a tree grew, and growing will ever grow. That tree is for everybody, for all Americans, for all the world. May its branches spread and shelter grow, until all races and all people will shake. Keep your hand on the plow.